Today I'm standing on top of Berrambuding Rock. It's in the middle of nowhere in remote WA and it's all for work. So let's talk about that. So for the next 2 days, I'm out on the road shooting for our well-known Japanese car manufacturer. The shoot itself isn't going to be that interesting, but I thought I'd drag you along to see what happens. So we're just going to roll with it. So that's pretty much all of the kit we're going to need. We've got stabilizers and tripods and sliders and cameras and lights and a little bit of food and stuff like that. So yeah, time to get on the road. Travel update. We're in Guilleming. I don't know if that pronunciation is right. But the important thing is, the sign on the way in said it's the place of possums. I've never seen a possum and I want to see a possum, which is probably not going to happen because it's the wrong time of the day. But there we go. Possums. So I should explain what we're doing. So today I'm driving about 4.5 hours northeast of Perth to a place called Bonnie Rock. It's a very small town, it's in the middle of the wheat belt, pretty much used for just farming. Today we're working with my favourite Japanese car manufacturer, and for those who have followed this vlog for a little longer, you may remember us working with a Russian balloon guy who took off from Northern. So Oscar ballooned around the world in about 11 days and he set a new world record, and he landed in Bonnie Rock. So what we're actually doing today is going off to interview the guy who helped bring his balloon down. The job itself should be pretty easy. It's just an interview and then capturing some cutaway footage. It's just the fact that we have to travel about 4.5 hours northeast of Perth that really makes it a little bit more tricky. So I've hired a car, I've packed all my gear up, and we're travelling out there. So lunch today is a couple of pork pies. I've just spoken with Kim, who's the guy who we're interviewing, and we're actually making really good time. I wasn't expecting to be this far along this quickly, so we're actually going to just push on, because hopefully we can start to get some of the bits that we need shot, and then that leaves less for us to do later on, like tomorrow. So yes, more driving, go. This place is crazy, by the way. It's actually won Australia's tidiest town 4 years. 4 years! How do you do that? I mean, it's pretty small, so I guess like a litter pick would be pretty easy before the judges come round, but these guys have got their eyes on the prize. I thought I'd talk about work and travel. So I've actually been very lucky in my life, I think, in the amount of travel that I've been able to do through my work. With my old job, I managed to travel to Moscow, a couple of places in England, and then obviously they sent me out to Australia, which is where all this has kind of kicked off. And then when I've been working for myself, I've managed to travel a little bit, probably like I'd like to do a bit more, but I've managed to travel a fair bit through the state for work. And I think like work with travel is an interesting balance, because if you do too much, then you feel like you never want to get on a plane, you never want to get in a car, you never want to go on a train, because you're working all the time, because you're always traveling. But if you do it the right amount, then you don't really feel like you're working, you're just traveling and seeing new places, which is probably the stage I'm at now. Like, this is a 2-day trip. It's a pretty cruisy one, because basically we're traveling for 4 hours, so call it 8 hours for the total travel, plus probably a half-day shoot. So we could technically do it in a whole day, but it'll probably get quite busy, so I've just spread it out over 2 days. I think this one also feels better because I haven't been in this part of the country before, so it's kind of new and exciting, and it is a lot of fields, but it's still interesting to me. I'm seeing something different that I haven't really seen before. So yeah, I think that travel within a job is a positive thing, as long, like as everything else, it has a bit of balance. And I'm pretty happy with where my job takes me. Admittedly, that's mostly within Perth suburbs, but occasionally when I get to go outside places like this, it makes an interesting change, totally different, something different to do, and variety keeps me interested in my job. It's coming up to 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Been on the road for probably about 4.5 hours or something like that now. Pretty much ready to get out of the car. Comprehensive review of this rental car is coming soon. But yeah, looking forward to getting out, stretching my legs, getting some fresh air, getting some filming done. Welcome to a chilly Bonnie Rock farm. I didn't manage to do any shooting for this vlog yesterday because basically came down the road and bumped into all the guys who we were going to work with, and we went to work straight away and then worked for the rest of the afternoon. So yeah, that's bad news. This morning we're going to shoot an interview, and that's probably not the most exciting stuff. So what I'll do now is crop in some footage that we shot yesterday. And the nice thing was that Kim, who owns this farm, has got a plane tucked away in this shed. We even managed to get the drone up yesterday, which Kim was super excited about. So we took some nice pictures of this hangar and his plane that he's got tucked away in there as well. So it's always nice to shoot something a little bit different, and do something for the people that you're staying with, so that was pretty cool. So we've wrapped up filming for the day and I'm just making my way off the farm. I'm going to go and check out Bonnie Rock, which is still another 20 minutes down the road or something like that. And of course I said to the hire car company that I would not take this car off-road. And this technically isn't off-road. It's just kind of not sealed road. I'm sure it'll be fine. Summary of the shoot went really well, actually. Really a pleasure to work with these guys. Very helpful. We basically so yesterday we shot a whole bunch of cutaway shots, and then this morning we shot an interview that will form part of the documentary, and this links into the balloon project that I shot maybe a month or so ago. So all this footage will go back to Russia for them to edit. But yeah, very interesting project to be involved in. Really nice to be out and traveling and seeing parts of the country that I don't normally get to see, and meeting some very awesome people as well, which is always great. So this apparently is what was Bonnie Rock. There's all these like what used to be streets. And I think they might have moved the town or something. But it's pretty vacant block, just full of trees. And there's the old street sign. So I guess there's not much of Bonnie Rock left, apart from this whacking great grain silo that's on the other side. It's a little strange because I was kind of expecting Bonnie Rock to be a town. I guess it used to be. According to the 2006 census, it's got a population of 63, so that perhaps is made up by people just on farms and in the surrounding area, because Bonnie Rock would be their nearest town. But we'll drive on and see if we can find anything else. Okay, so travel update is Bonnie Rock is as I was led to believe. There used to be a town here. There's no longer a town. The people that live around, literally it's just a marker in the ground that something that was. Kim was saying there was about like maybe 300 people who used to live here, and people have just sold up and moved out, and I think I swallowed a fly. Yeah, so there's been about 300 people here, and then they've just moved out and the neighbours bought another piece of land, and obviously with machinery getting more effective for farming, then obviously more people have left and things like that. So yeah, it's a bit of a shame. I was really hoping that Bonnie Rock would be like a really interesting town site, but yeah, now I can understand why it's like that. So what we're doing, we're heading another probably 20 minutes or something down the road to hopefully a decent rock formation. I want to stick the drone up and take a look around, and then yeah, drive back to Perth, which will be as exciting as, you know, you're in the middle of nowhere when the radio cannot find a single station. Alright. So Kim has kindly dropped me off at Berrinbuding Rock, which is all of this. It's basically a massive rock formation that's got a big well, and there's also some Aboriginal rock paintings. There's a balancing boulder. Has the largest rock catchment in Australia. It was built in 1937 and holds over 2 million gallons of water and cost £10,000. Oh my god, you can even get something for £10,000. You probably wouldn't even get a home water containment system. Cool, I'm gonna go check it out. So by the looks of it, water falls down, runs down, hits the wall, travels along the wall into what can only be described as a concrete monstrosity. But Kim was saying that this is, or used to be, what would supply all of Bonnie Rocks and probably the surrounding areas water. So you come up here, get your water, and go back to your farmstead. Thank God for pipes nowadays, that'd be a long walk. There is just these little walls running all over this place, just to direct water. That's, I mean, one, it's kind of astonishing that they're still actually one functional and two, you know, standing. It wasn't built that long ago, but the environment is pretty rough out here. But it's also kind of a cool piece of engineering work. Ah, sweet. So this must be Kangaroo Pool, I think. I'm assuming because kangaroos come in and drink from here. And my assumption would be correct based on the droppings. So this behind me is known as Balancing Rock, and that's awesome. You remember how earlier in the vlog I said that if you do too much travel, then you really get fed up with it? Work with travel is an interesting balance, but if it's the right balance, then it's really awesome. This is the right level of travel. These are the days that I really appreciate what I do for my work, the fact that I can shoot with some really nice people and then get out and see like a completely different part of the world. This is why I came to Australia, because it just makes you see stuff you thought you'd never see. And there we go, another successful drone flight without tipping over the landing. That wind out there is getting pretty monstrous, and lost signal a couple of times, so yeah, time to call it quits. Probably time to get on the road. Only 5 hours back to Perth. Okay guys, that's the end of this vlog. Thank you very much for watching. Sorry it's a bit probably longer than normal. I hope you've enjoyed doing something a bit different, not really kind of talking about work, but just kind of showing the out and abouts. Something a bit different for this channel. So if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you like the content that I'm putting out about my business, subscribe to the channel. And as ever guys, thanks for watching. Wait, stop this, hang on. Is this the end of the film? We didn't do something. We didn't do a comprehensive car review. From the outside, I'm giving this guy pretty good looks for a RAV4. To be honest, when you expect the RAV4 to be that girly, sissy nanny car, this is almost like a shrunken clugger, which is pretty good for me. I reckon it looks all right. The back's a bit fat. It feels pretty good when you drive it. Inside driving review. It's pretty nice to drive. My bum's been on this seat for probably about 700, if not more kilometers. I went 3.5 hours yesterday driving this and didn't really feel that tired. And I'm not feeling it the next day. So for a driving position, I give it thumbs up. We don't care about passengers because we're a driver and usually the driver buys the car. So I'm not even going to review that part of the car. The dashboard is pretty good, to be honest. The steering wheel is nice and firm. However, it's got that cheap, nasty leatherette thing that'll probably mark within about 5 seconds. And this horrible invisible panel up here reflects any sunlight straight into your eyes. It's like they deliberately angled it to do that. This audio panel as well is nowhere near directed enough to the driver, and that really bugs the hell out of me because it's really hard to read all the screen. Not forgetting there's actually a clock above that which is impossible to read when you're driving. Otherwise, the audio and stereo in the car is absolutely really good, as you'd expect for like a modern day car. Aircon seems really good. It's kept me nice and chilly in this warmer weather. And the only other thing that I'd really mention is the fact that this door trim needs more padding, because when you lean on it like I do for long periods of time when you're driving, it's painful to your little elbow. Visibility out of this mirror probably could be improved, but all round you kind of get used to it. So yeah, it passes. As a driver, the last thing that you really need is an engine, and whilst I think there's one in the engine bay, I'd say this one is underpowered for pulling away at traffic lights. So there you go, after 2 days working with this car and about 800 kilometers, that's my comprehensive review. Thank you for watching. Sitting in the car for 4.5 to 5 hours is probably going to be boring, but I am over these flies out here already, and it's not even the peak of summer yet. This is the most boring 20 seconds of editing ever. That time you get back in the car and it says 5 hours and 39 minutes until you get home.